Greetings all, this is Hairy Nick.
And this is a less hairy Justin.
Indeed it is. Justin, how are you?
Doing alright. They did a sneaky on us.
They did a very, very sneaky on it. I'll give them a warning. I'll give them a warning this time.
Yeah.
They did
apparently
break the combo.
Yeah, apparently there was a day off on Monday for America.
Okay, I can accept that, but that's not when the article was coming out. Anyway, not gonna harp on about that. If people have a right to their day off, especially in a time of great stress and a time of great lockdown. People have got to take care of their mental health, so I accept that. That's all good. But yes, we still got our article. We're still doing the weekly things by the look of it, which is great. Hope it keeps going. Unfortunately, yes. I had yesterday off. I did not have today off. I don't have tomorrow off, so I'm cramming this between work schedules and getting this edited and out as soon as I can, but that's all right. I will never complain about talking about X-Wing, because we got the article today for the V-Wing, the Nebula class? Nebulanimbus, the Nimbus class. I'm leaving that in because I like to say fun words. So yes, we got a few more details about this ship. This was revealed back at Gen Con. It's the Republic ship that is like the forerunner of the TIE Fighter. It has a twin ion engine baked into the ship stats. Before we look at those, here is the dial. It's pretty similar to a TIE Fighter. No one forwards, which is a staple of TIE Fighters. All the 2-speed basic maneuvers are blue. Got a 2K turn, got a 4K turn. 5 straight.
As we talk about later on, the 2K turn can be something different.
It is very relevant indeed. It's a pretty straightforward TIE dial. Not much to say there. Just quickly revisiting the ship stats before we talk about some new pilots. We have 2 red dice, 3 agility, 2 hull, 2 shield. Very TIE-like stats there.
Adding a bit more shields because, it's the precursor.
They valued the life of their pilots a little bit less going into the Empire. Also the action bar, focus, target lock, red barrel roll, and boost to red target lock. So it has target locks. I know we had the spread originally spoiled from Gen Con. I don't have that image here. I don't believe this comes with missiles. The old article or this article don't talk about that at all. The design is really cool. It has one of the better 2-dice attacks in the game. FFG in this have really tried to push what they can do with the 2 red dice attack. It's a more interesting take on a design rather than just giving it 3 red dice, which I think is really, really cool. Again, it's TIE Fighter. It's got 2 red dice. Deal with it. Let's talk about some new pilots. Now, we already had Wilhulf Tarkin revealed, who is, of course, spoiler alert, Grand Moff Tarkin. Let's talk about some clone pilots. Starting off, we'll go low initiative to high initiative. Starting off with Click. Initiative 4. While a ship that you have locked at range 1 to 3 defends or performs an attack, you may spend 1 charge to prevent the range bonuses from being applied. This is a great support ability. That seems really cool.
This is awesome.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Also, this platform, I feel like it's going to be pretty cheap. I think the configurations is what could push the cost up a bit. So it'd be more than a TIE Fighter, but not much more. That's sort of where I'm thinking this.
I'm thinking around 30 points for around the base, maybe? If you've got the Torrent Fighters sitting at 25 points. Yeah.
The Torrents have just 4 hull, don't they? So it's shield is better than hull, but it's still the same amount of hit points in a raw sense. I agree. I think it's going to be a little bit cheaper. I think like closer to 27, 28 points. The reason I bring all this up is because if we can get Click, it's still well below 40 points. That seems like a really solid support role. It's got to be cheap enough to sort of fit in with some of these more expensive Republic pilots. But this just seems like a solid ability that won't really need a very strong build. Like, it won't need lots of upgrades to make this relevant. Negating opponent's dice is great. Well,
not only that, if you put this with Ayla Sakura on the Eda 2...
Yeah, sure.
You've got lots of things which you can reduce, basically, the enemy's dice down to nothing, hopefully, and keep surviving.
That is always the goal, to stop your opponent from playing X-Wing. I feel like, depending on how this is costed, I think if you're able to negate like 2 or 3 dice a game, that feels really, really solid. I like the design on this. It relies on the ship itself being meta viable, but nevertheless, very interested in that one. We've got a couple of Initiative 5 clones as well. Let's start with Contrail. While you defend or perform an attack, if the bearing of your revealed maneuver is the same as the enemy ship's, you may change one of the enemy ship's focus results to a blank result. This one's hard to evaluate.
Yeah, now with this, if you do a bank left and the opponent does a bank right, is the bank the same? I don't think so.
No, it's directional. Bearing is direction.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to imagine how this is going to play out in a game, and it could be semi-consistent sometimes. The payoff
you get behind someone.
The payoff isn't great. A focus is already a non-result if your opponent doesn't have a focus token to spend anyway. They can play around it by just taking like a target lock or an evade, which feels really bad, negating your Initiative 5 pilot ability. I don't know.
But this is when you defend or perform an attack. So it is.
Way. Oh yeah, it's good. Like,
yeah,
it's versatile in that way. You make a good point. There's no limit. You can use it on defense and your attack. It feels narrow, but this is the kind of thing that I look at and go, yeah, that could be dumb and I could be wrong and you could all be laughing. So I'm not going to say it's bad.
Yeah,
for sure. There are cards in this article that I think is just terrible. This is, I think, appears terrible, but might be okay. Like, I don't want to make a call on this one. I'm just going to move on, but very curious to see if that does anything. Hey, Justin, Oddball's back.
Hey, yeah, we're going to have Oddball meta. That's
right. Do something red as in an ability or a maneuver, and if something as in an enemy ship is in your bullseye arc, bam, lock it. Yep. Has Oddball done anything meta-wise yet in the 10,000 ships he's in? No. It's weird to have a clone obviously be such a successful pilot that they get to pilot so many different kinds of ships. I imagine most piloting careers would not last beyond a few hours. So that's interesting. Like, okay, let's talk about this ability on this frame as opposed to the other frame Oddball's been on. It's got red barrel roll, tick. It's not the first time that's happened, but that's good. It's also got the red 2K turn.
The red 4K turn, the 1 banks.
Yeah, I guess that's interesting. It's Initiative 5, but this is the conversation we've had before. I don't think this is better.
Well, I mean, it's a free target lock. You're not getting an additional stress for the target lock.
Yeah, for sure, but it depends
how
good the ship is itself. Like, great, your 2 red attack dice gets a target lock now. It's good. It's great. I mean, free upside's great, but I'm just saying we haven't seen Oddball do anything up to this point, so why is this going to make it any different? I look at these pilots. I think Tarkin's very interesting. I think Click's very interesting, but it's one of those times I go, okay, yeah, this isn't about the pilots. This is about the frame. It's exactly what we saw with the Torrent Fighter. We don't care about those pilots, but the ship itself is relevant because it's costed well, it's efficient, and it fits into lists.
I think there's some good pilots on this. I think it could see a little bit of play.
I'm very interested in Click. I will say that. I think that's something that could fit into... It has to have the right frame, and it's just based on what we've seen in the Republic already, that's sort of where I'm guessing these things are going to go. Let's actually talk a bit more about the ship itself, because we have both configurations spoiled now. Previously,
one is good.
Previously we had the good one spoiled, Besh, which allows you... when you perform a primary attack, you may spend your lock on the defender to change one of your blank or focus results to a hit result. So you can either spend your target lock to reroll any amount of dice, the normal effect, or you can change one dice that's missing into a hit. And I spoke before about this at length. This is really good. This is a very versatile way of using your attack. This is what I mean when, they are pushing the boundaries on a 2 red dice attack.
It's kind of like a fire control system, but not. And it's just good.
It's very good. Also, it adds a device, which is fantastic. I feel like the device should have gone on this next card. So
but the device on this reminds me more of the game original Battlefront 2 where it was a bomber.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, flavorfully, I get it. I get why it's there. I'm just saying this next card, from a balance point of view,
it should have been on this one, yeah.
While you perform a primary attack, before rolling attack dice, you may spend 2 charges. It has 2, and you recharge one every turn. If you do, your crit results inflict ion tokens instead of damage. I think that's really bad. Like,
this
joke.
could have 2 arrows, and I still would be like...
Well, it'd be once per turn then, which would...
Yeah.
You wouldn't have charges at all at that stage.
I don't care. Like, it almost needs that for it to be good.
Like, you can see where they've had to balance it. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to take a turn off after using it. You can't use it 2 turns in a row. And you've got to call it before you roll attack dice. On a 2 red dice ship.
Yeah, and you need to... Do you need to have a cannon or something with this ship so that you can then have an ion cannon? Or,
No.
Like, because
it's not a thing.
But why would you just do crits as
why
ion
would just the crits?
It's on a 2 dice ship?
Oh, I get it, but the problem is there's a big caveat. You have to guess when it's going to work. Well, not guess, but you have to call it before you roll attack dice. So that means... If you miss, take a turn off. You do nothing. Oh boy, the feel bads. Oh boy, the feel bads when that happens.
There would be many, yeah.
You have to get crits, and you have to be in a situation where it is worth not putting damage on your opponent's ships. Negating critical damage to give them ion. Yes, those situations will occur. It's rare.
Yeah.
X-Wing is about blowing up your opponent's ships. Ion is cute. It's like ion cannons are great because they do a bit of damage, a bit of ion, and 3 red dots attack. Like, there's upside from using those kind of effects. I strongly dislike this design.
This could be worth 0 points, and I still don't think it will see a huge amount of play.
I think... Yeah, I don't want to say both are going to be 0 points, because I think Besh is really interesting. Like, it's...
like, that could actually be worth some points. The fact that it adds a device slot, and it gives you basically fire control system.
Yeah.
Like a better fire control system,
like,
but you do have to spend the lock. I don't know.
If S gets a device, it could ion and then bomb, and there's like... there's mechanical power from doing those things together.
Imagine
it's so
with
situational.
The Alpha 3S, you put you put an ion bomb on, you then do a 2K, you fire back, you're dealing extra damage, you're dealing extra ion, you're feeling good.
No, you're feeling great. You're feeling great.
Yeah, but it doesn't happen because
I think the biggest problem is FF3 had to balance this, and that's where the 2 charge thing and having to call it before you roll dice. I was like, okay, we got this balanced out. If we just said you can spend crits to inflict ion, it was too much. I get that. But the feel bads that's going to lead to, it's going to be, I can just see it now. New players, try it out. Oh, I'm going to spend my charges. Blank. I'm never taking that card again.
Yep.
That's it.
And it has to be a primary attack as well.
That's
it just
fine.
reads
Does
there.
it even have secondary attacks?
I don't know.
No, we were talking about missiles before. We didn't say that before. Let's assume it doesn't. Maybe they'll... I don't know. There'll be ways to put other attacks on it. Whatever. Bit of a down on that one. But we have a new modification that helps out some ties. Very interesting. The precision ion engines goes on a tie with agility 3, and before you execute a speed 1 to 3 Koigren I never say this word. A K-turn.
I say
maneuver. You may spend 1 charge to execute that maneuver as an S-loop, left or right, instead. So this, we worked this out before, can go on tire lens, Rebel or Empire. It can go on Mining Guild ties, and it can go on the V-Wing.
That's it. No other Empire ties, no FO ties.
because they either don't have K turns at the right speed or their agility is too low. We were talking about this before. Yeah. I was saying, but the TIE Defender's got 3 agility. It's got the K turn at the right speed. Then you pointed out it doesn't have a modification slot. That's probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing. This would be really good on a Defender. I can see. Got to be careful with those things.
Can you imagine having... Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that the Defender might need. Like, I get it. It'd be an interesting sort of fix.
Yeah. But imagine, Ryad doing a signal loop, it being white. That'd look so good. Yeah. That's why it's broken. Yeah.
Ryad. Ryad. I forgot Ryad.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, it can only be done twice. But that's still enough.
I only need to do it once, man. Now, I'm just gonna do something here I've not done before. I'm gonna put my mic aside. I'm just gonna look down the camera and say, FFG, hey, remember that card pack? From do it again. We need it. Empire players need a lot of copies of this card yesterday. Well, when it comes out. They can't use it yesterday because it's not legal yet. Okay.
No.
Tomorrow. Okay?
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
This one and the Ion Limiter Override, we need a couple. We need at least, I'd say 3. 3 would be nice.
Indeed. Now, this is not going to come in the TIE Brute pack, but the Ion Limiter Override will. The talent that we previously discussed. But yeah, needless to say, I feel like every article I'm bringing this up over and over again, but I think moving into 2nd edition, the way all of these things have been distributed, it's becoming more and more consumer friendly. I know a lot of people in the comment section are going to massively disagree with me in that. I don't care. I think the company has moved to a more consumer friendly model when it comes to X-Wing. Me is the biggest sticking point. It's not bad. I understand they have to do... They can't do it all the time. Then it does stretch the wallet. I think once a year would be good, but I'm saying let's get that second card pack announced. We're there. We need it. It's not egregious to do it now. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah.
Regardless, let's talk about this card.
It's only 2 charges, but it doesn't matter. It's enough.
Only 2 charges. I don't think it'll be free. I'd be very surprised if it was free.
Oh, yeah, no. Maybe...
even 2 points? Even 2 points is a big cost when it comes to something that it's a very cheap ship, you have to remember. These are all very cheap ships.
I don't think you'd put this on swarms.
You don't think so?
Because if you're doing S-loops, you'll be hitting into each other.
You could go around the side of a rock and do that. And I feel like it would actually help with swarms in some situations.
Even if you're just going around the asteroid, you could just do a 2 bank. How often do you need to be doing a Senor loop?
Senor loop
facing backwards over back around a rock. I don't know.
Justin, you know what just happened, right? You have just cemented your new nickname as Senor Loop.
I thought I was the censor boy.
No. Now I am the censor boy. You are Senor Loop.
Okay.
In the comment section, F for Justin. Senor Loop. I love that. That's so good. That made this whole video worth it. Okay, cool. Interesting. I like this kind of effect on ships like Howlrunner. Something TIEs struggle to do the ace kind of role, and this is something I think you could put on a pilot like Howlrunner to fit it more into the ace shell. That seems like a really powerful effect.
I was thinking, do you remember back when we were doing our hairy tournament? I was running Gideon Hask. Putting it on Hask and having 2 other good ships, or having one good TIE, and you put this on, and then you have other ships that go well with it. I think having it play more like that as opposed to a swarm.
Yeah, big time.
I think that could be good.
I think there's a case for both, but I agree. The ace sort of archetype seems to make a lot of sense. Let's have a look at some astromechs, Justin. We have a new generic, the Q7 astromech, a little red boy. It's got the similar claws to backwards tail slide. While you boost or barrel roll, you can move through obstacles.
Yes, except this is just for Republic as opposed to X-Wing only.
X-Wing only. Also, backwards tail slide has more caveats than that. You've got to have your S-foils closed because you're sliding over the thing. This just says, just do it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, you just do the thing.
It's a lot more open. It does cost you the astromech slot. Like, this is the opportunity cost of running like R4 astromech, so it's not... there's a cost involved in that as well. This is obviously very interesting on Jedi. I don't know if it's necessarily better than R4 astromech or like other unique astromech they're going to take.
I mean, like, it'd be good on Aces. It's going to be good on Jedi because you can literally barrel roll through something before you...
Yeah. Jedi and Rick. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Let's move along. R7A7. This looks really good. Like...
Yeah. Now, this could work really well with the Alpha 3E-esque if, you know, you were going to use it, but why are you going to use it? Just use this instead!
If it's efficient enough, that seems like an okay iron build, but it doesn't seem like it's better than just using the other configuration. It is marksmanship without the need of something to be in the bullseye arc, which is really good. Only has a limit of 3 times you use it. That's still pretty generous, like...
Yeah.
There are plenty of long games where, like, you wish you're going to have it more, but it's not going to, like... It's not a huge downside.
Provided that you've got the droid on, you've also got the ability to use spare parts canisters.
That's true. You can increase... Yeah.
Yeah, so that gets
powerful.
you up to 4.
I mean, that's the thing. Whenever we look at these droids, you got to appreciate the more powerful the effect, the better spare parts canister is. Obviously better the more red attack dice you have. So, like 7B Jedi, are we sort of pushing the points limit there a little bit?
Ooh.
We were talking before, we think this is going to land around 5 or 6 points. It can't be 1 point like marksmanship. That's... The downside of having 3 charges is way less downside than having to be in the bullseye arc. That's what I feel anyway. Just a no limit thing. Also, this works with like ordnance on Y-wings and stuff like that.
Yeah, because it's just perform an attack. Like if you use a proton torpedo.
Yep. It's a thing you can do.
That's a lot of crits.
That's a lot of crits. Not having a good time. You're not having a good time if you're getting shot with that. It's cool. There's not much to say.
No.
I don't think it doesn't really make sense to cost it against like initiative or anything. It's going to have a chunk of points. If it's not, I'm calling it now. If FFG undercost this, they go, it's a little bit better than marksmanship. They go 2 or 3 points. It's going to do busted stuff.
It will see playful stop. It would be on every single list.
That's it. It just seems way too good at that points cost. At 5 or 6 seems okay. If it's like 10 points, whatever, who cares? Really, really solid ability. We have one final thing here, and a rules clarification that we need, because it wouldn't be one of these videos if we didn't ask for a rules clarification, would it? Thermal detonators, a new device, a new bomb, in fact. During the system phase, you may spend up to 2 charges to drop that many thermal detonators using the 1 or 2 speed maneuver template. Each must be placed using a different template. When you reload this card, recover 1 additional charge, because it's like dropping 2 is like dropping 1. What happens? Like all other bombs, it goes off at the end of activation, and when that happens, this is from the article, each ship at range 0 to 1 rolls an attack dice, suffers a strain on a focus result, a hit on a hit result, and a crit on a crit result, which is cool. Just before we talk about like the application of this card, I gotta say that use of the strain mechanic makes so much more sense than most. Almost damage, perfect. That's what strain should be. I'm not a fan of FFG like tacking on strain to like weird effects like suppressive gunner and all that kind of stuff, but like to have gradation like that, almost damage crit like that perfect. It just mechanically makes a lot of sense. So big props to that.
If you use Skill Bombardier, would that make it a 2 and a 3 or up to a 2 and a 3?
I don't see why not. Absolutely would.
Yeah? And then on a TIE Bomber as well, because the TIE Bomber gets the curves as well.
The curvy curves. It's very interesting.
Fun.
The idea of throwing a thermal detonator into space. And it's not like it's illicit or anything. It's just a standard bomb. That's kind of weird. Are thermal detonators... I thought they were just grenades in Star Wars.
I mean, I suppose they just got a ridiculous payload.
I guess so. Maybe Princess Leia, like the whole room flipped out when she armed that detonator. So
C-3PO was not impressed.
No. You know what I love about that scene? Nobody told C-3PO the plan, and I love it.
Yeah.
Why would you do that to the most anxious character in the room?
Everything gets ruined. Everything gets ruined as soon as C-3PO finds out anything.
That's true. I get it, but first of all, why do you program a robot with that level of anxiety? Anakin, come on, man. And the second of all, why do you do things that specifically induce the anxiety in that robot? Very cool. There's not much to say. It's going to be very dependent on the points. Similar to seismic charges, it's like, I think if it sits around that same points cost, it's going to be fine. The fact that there's risk involved with it means the power level is very hard to call. We have a weird rules interaction here, which was brought up in our Discord. Sabine Wren, her ability triggers when an enemy ship suffers the effect of a friendly bomb. Now, Justin, what do you think of this? If you roll a blank off a thermal detonator, have you suffered the effects of that thermal detonator? Discuss.
Oh.
Is rolling the dice
you have
suffering?
You have done an effect...
Or is taking a damage or a token suffering the effect? I'm going to say right now that taking a strain absolutely is suffering. I don't think that's... There's no ambiguity there. It's whether or not the action of rolling for damage at all triggers Sabine. Is blanking out still going to work with Sabine?
Yeah.
I think the term suffer implies damage or negative tokens.
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you on that one. But, rolling a dice is still technically... It's
taking on the effect. Suffering has negative connotations. That's why I'm not sure. But I'm glad it was brought up because it's not something I would have caught. It's good. It's interesting because if Sabine tractors you, she can track you into range of the second thermal detonator if you weren't already in range of it, or any other bomb for that matter. But because you can drop 2 terminals at once, that's far more likely to happen with this card. So yes, very cool card. The power level is completely dependent on the points. This has been a very interesting article this time round. Like lots to talk about.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff coming out for the Empire. They're getting new toys.
On a Republic upgrade pack. Again, we need that card pack so badly. But Ion Limiter Override and Precision Ion Engines, both very, very interesting cards. Not much to say. I don't like proxy fixes in general. That's a very 1.0 thing. But as long as we get access to these cards, they get dropped in later packs. They are quite frequent. And given what FFG has done to this point, I think that will happen.
Yeah, there was talk of Shadow Squadron or something like that, wasn't there?
Oh, there's been leaks. We've discussed things to the point where we keep saying something and now it's like it's materializing. Like we suddenly think it happened when that was just you and me talking about it, Justin. There was leaks to do with certain packs, but we don't have any information on that. And anyways, I don't want to talk about leaks. I'd rather wait for FFG to announce things.
Also, I just want to quickly point out they're doing some really nice artwork again with these cards.
Oh, I love the Rhodian on Precision Ion Engines running away. It's so cool. I love the TIE Fighter like taking off in the middle of like a market square. Justin, we're rambling. We have to finish this video.
We do.
Thank you so much, everyone, for watching this video. You are beautiful. Don't let anyone tell you that you're not. In the meantime, do all those things that make the YouTube algorithm love us. Comment section. Just
dislike,
write
click
a comment.
Something.
Preferably like. Share it with a friend. Like, share the videos. That's actually one of the big things that we don't talk about much. Go and share these videos with a friend. It would make me happy. It would make your friends happy. It would make them think that you're really, really cool. But you are really
because
cool
Star
you're
Wars
watching
is
this
super
video.
cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, social media.
Coming from some cool guys.
That's it. Also, social media, Patreon, all that stuff down in the description below. And in the meantime, me and Justin will catch you all in the next video.
Bye.